Okay, we're gonna go over how to set up the Viva base on the software side of things. Now we have the hardware all set up. We're gonna go to our controller. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna switch our RTK profile. We're gonna hit load RTK profile. After we touch the cell phone button, hit the load RTK profile. It'll load up our options. Usually you're gonna have SmartNet, which is what it was in, hotspot if you're connecting to your phone internet, or radio is what we're looking for here. Do you want to keep your internet connection settings? No, we do not. We're not going to use the internet. We're going to use radio waves from the base station. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to switch to base.
RTK initialize.
Click switch to base. We're going to do base setup. First of all, actually, we're going to do settings. We need to connect to the base. Connect to GS base. That's what we want to do. This is a GS10, GS15. This is a GS15 base, actually. It's the dish on top. So what we're going to do, we're going to search for it via Bluetooth. Sometimes that'll say cable there. You have to change that to Bluetooth. We're searching for it. GS15 right there. That's the one we want to connect to, not the TV. Okay, hit OK. That should connect us to the base station. Now what we're going to do a base setup over a known point. It's asking for your antenna height. What you can do is a couple things. One is the antenna height is based off the very top line of this. Right there. You can take from your nail, get your own personal hand tape, run a tape measure, set it on the nail, and after you set it on the nail, not long enough here. There we go. Then you can measure, get it to where it's perfectly eyeball level, 4.99, and then subtract 100 because you're not perfectly level. 4.98 we'll call it. So if I put in 4.98 right here, that's not going to work because it's accounting for the tripod. It's got a vertical offset of 1.18 feet. So I can basically do null antenna. Basically a zero offset is what you could do. Or in this case, it's got the GS15 tripod, which is this little built-in attachment that you can put on there, and you can measure down to your nail with the attachment. Put that thing right on top of your nail, and then read whatever it says on your setting here. 1.155. You got your 1 meter mark right there. 1.1 meters, 1.55 meters. The problem with doing it that way is this thing is asking for a height in feet. So you can get on your googly device, convert 1.15 meters to feet, and you'll get 3.8 feet. Or you could have done no antenna and keyed in the actual measurement. Either one will work. And the only way to tell if you did it correctly, get yourself a check shot. Okay, we're gonna go next. What's our point ID? And it's really important that you have the job highlighted that you're using when you that you want to use. Otherwise, it's not going to pull these points from the correct job. So in this case, I was highlighted over the job that I have my base point, which is the one we're set up over the top of, and then got a little check shot nail right there. So I only have 2 points in here. Base, check. We're setting up over the base. It needs to know the coordinates of that. I'm gonna hit next. Now it says press rover if you want to switch back to controlling the rover. Base if you want to maintain connected to the base. We're going back to the rover. So we want to basically turn our controller here back into connecting to that, and we just set up the base remotely on here. Boom, RTK initialized. So we can go into our stake points. Look at our quality. Real important to know that you got to have your base antenna hooked up in the slot that says radio, not the 4G slot. We got rock solid, what, 300s by 200s quality it's showing. We'll move over to our nail point. Set it up on top of it. And get your check. Showing a couple hundredths of fill, 300s by 800s. What's funny is I just set this up and just checked this a few moments ago. Sometimes I think you can have a little bit of float in these. Another thing you can check is your bubble. Sometimes these can adjust a little bit while you're setting up the base. Maybe you bump it. See how my bubble was a little bit out of level? Another thing you can do is you can kind of adjust this thing a little bit if you need to, but in general we're hitting pretty close. It was just showing 400s. Yeah, look, we're hitting pretty tight, within a half an inch. GPS. That's how to set up the Viva base from the software side of things. If you have troubleshooting, that's going to be something completely separate.